Generis presents The Big Debate. The future will be data-driven, but who will steer it? The highlights.
The direct value of a life sciences industry can be, and in this case, of course, with providing a medicine that could actually change the immediate quality of life of many people. If you look at the process of getting those products out there, especially the way to get them registered, it is somewhat archaic. So how do you come together to deal with the very different challenges that this era is giving us right now?
And I would say that's really an important thing to note, that, we don't need the health authorities to necessarily drive innovation. They just have to be open to it. Things that health authorities are asking themselves are the same ones we're asking ourselves in industry. Are we ready for scientific and technological advancement? Do we have the expertise, right? How do we then, with the technology and the expertise, provide guidance?
It's a lot of loose ends at the moment, and a lot of expertise spread all over the place, but somehow not focused into centers of excellence. We have guidances available that are being rephrased and not fully agreed on or approved. I'm somehow feeling like we're running behind in really getting to the essence of what we need to focus on and what we need to implement in terms of updated processes and also probably tools to support the processes.
We always think about industry and regulators, but I think there's a third part of that triangle there, and that's the patient. Without losing sight of that, then our conversation about data becomes more meaningful, because we want to get through that whole value chain that we all know. And I think that's where we get lost, is that operational aspect, where we start to have, disagreements between who owns what process, who leads which process, who therefore owns the data coming out of that process. And so it's really important that there's a good data lineage, to understand where is that data coming from and how does that data then impact the next set of data.
And I see us really being pushed into the role of at least taking on data governance to some point, and to a much bigger extent than in the past. And it's really interesting how you have to evolve to fill that role, right? It's kind of I don't want to say maybe not a new role, but additional task and ability you have to develop.
This needs to be kicked up at a higher level in terms of data governance, because it can't just be held in regulatory. It has to expand beyond that, right? Because health authorities aren't concerned with that structure.
What's the role of tomorrow? I think that, certainly regulatory operations can play a big role, because they have that visibility and they know what the regulator wants. But certainly other functions should play a part here as well, because they are ultimately where the source of the data is.
Do all sorts of things because we think we have to, like looking at the data, managing it, standardizing it, putting standards on it, tools on it, but we don't really know what we want to use it for.